Good evening, everyone. I'm your host, comedian, magician, Danny Whitson. But it's all tricks aside, because tonight we're turning the paranormal into the normal. Join me as we explore the gray areas of reality. We're going to talk all things paranormal, UFOs, ghosts, cryptids, and aliens, and see how it's all connected. This podcast is brought to you by the Experiencer Support Association, and we are live. So if you're an experiencer yourself, or you're just plain nosy, be sure to send me your question and subscribe to the podcast. Now, get ready, because it's going to get deep. No, really, we're going to go way out there, because this is Beyond the Tinfoil Hat. What's happening, my paranormal junkies? And welcome to Beyond the Tinfoil Hat. And I'm your host, Danny Whitson. We are broadcasting live from the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 FM on the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. All right, guys. Well, we had a show lined up for you, but unfortunately, today's guest couldn't make it. Kind of last minute kind of thing. So what you're getting tonight is you're getting me, and you're getting our very famous, world famous tech guy, the man behind the scenes, the man that makes the real magic happen, Chris Green. Come on, Chris, where are you at?
Hey, how's it
There
going,
he
sir?
is, yes. All right. And sometimes, hey, in the live streaming world, sometimes this stuff happens.
Oh,
We'll
yes,
book a
of course.
guest, and then for some reason, something happens, and and then they can't make it. So, but hey, it is what it is. We're gonna do the show. We're gonna talk some ghosts. Something that me and Chris we do know a lot about. Especially doing this show. Any UFO stuff. If you guys got questions, we'll take your questions. We'll talk. But we're just going to kind of hang out here and do the show ourselves and just kind of roll with it. If you guys got any questions, don't be sure to send them to us.
All right. So, when was your first experience there, Danny?
My first experience, and I've shared this a few times. But I first of all, I want to say this. I think that certain people are very sensitive to anything paranormal things that happen. I believe I'm one of those people, because there's so many weird, spooky things that happen to me on the daily that I can't even list them all. So it's just things that happen. Like, yep, you write that off. I don't know what happened there. But the one that was the real deal for me. The one that was the real deal for me. I was 12 years old. Okay. And we had actually moved. We had moved into this house. We've been there a couple years. And this house, I don't know if it was haunted, but there was just a really, dark aura around this house. But and also I want to mention this. In my neighborhood, I want to mention this. It was on a circle, okay? And around the circle, there was an old graveyard, okay? Now, it wasn't like nothing that was upkept or anything. It was like, just an old graveyard that, the city workers would come and just take, and then, keep up, cut the grass, and go on, Just a few graves were in this thing. Didn't even know who's buried there. It's that old. But anyways, I was 12 years old, and I had a buddy staying over. A friend of mine was staying over that night. And I remember we were up too late. We were up late. And I remember we heard a noise outside around the fence, the gate. And I peeked out the window, living room window. I was in the living room. Me and my buddy, I think we were watching, like, I don't know, trying to make out the fuzzies on, something dirty on HBO. You're like, oh man, I think I see something, But anyways, we heard a noise, and I jumped up and I looked out the window because it was dark outside, and I saw something at the entrance of the gate coming, the entrance of the sidewalk and the gate coming into my yard. I wasn't really sure what it was, but I was like, is somebody here at this time of night? What's going on? And so I got up and I left my buddy in the living room, and I had walked into the kitchen. And the way this house was, it's kind of like a duplex. We lived in the whole thing, but kind of like a long shaped house. So I walked to the kitchen, and there was a side door that went outside from the kitchen. And I peeked out the window there, and I saw something coming up the sidewalk, and I wasn't really sure what it was. And then I opened the door, and I stuck my head out the door. And that's when I saw the only time I've ever seen, but to me, the only thing I could think of was a ghost. A real apparition, a real figure. And what I saw, and keep in mind, if I was making this up, I would definitely make up a better story. Okay.
Yeah.
But this is exactly what I saw coming directly at me. Okay. There was it was a man. He had his hands up like this. Okay. Had his hands up like this. He had a white V-neck t-shirt on, had green pants. He was barefooted, had a neck, but there was no head, no face. It wasn't like he was chopped off or decapitated or anything. It just wasn't there. Okay. And also there was this glow to the guy. He had, like, his body had a glow to it. And it was coming just directly up the sidewalk towards me, coming up to the side porch there at the kitchen. And I had the door open, and I'm seeing this directly, just coming straight at me. And I remember a million things running through my head, like, oh my God, what am I seeing right now? Because, as a kid, especially back then in the 80s, we were told, there's no such things as ghosts. There's no such things as these things. It's all in your head, So I'm sitting here trying to process everything that I've been told my whole life that's not real, and what the hell's going on in front of me. And then I seen the figure. It stopped. It turned. And we had our sidewalk came up towards the side of the house. I mean, the end of the house, and then it would curve and go along the side of the house. Well, that's exactly what this figure did. It came up, and then it turned, and then it started going down the side of the house. So I couldn't move until this thing was out of my sight. So then I shut the door, ran back into the living room, and I'm shaking my buddy. I'm like, oh my God, there's a ghost outside. There's a ghost outside. He's like, what? He jumps up and he looks out the window, and I look out the window with him, and we both see this thing just going along in front of the house, hands up like this, going along. And there was there was a side porch, a really big side porch. And on each side of the stairs of this porch were these big old bushes, big old hedges. We watched this thing just go directly into the bush, and it was gone. Okay. So then me and my friend, we went outside, went out on the porch, and, he's all like, oh my God, what, he's tore up, just couldn't believe what's happening. So I grabbed these. Now, keep in mind, this is where it even gets a little cliche. It gets a little, like I said, if I was lying, I would make a better ending up than this. Okay. But this is it's just what happened. Okay. So I grab these rocks, and I start, you kids, so I'm throwing them in that bush. Boom, 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 throwing these rocks in this bush. My buddy grabs a handful and he's throwing them. Boom, boom, boom. And then all of a sudden the bush goes, shh. And then a cat shoots right out of the bush and scared the hell out of us. We're kids. Oh, we go running inside, and and then of course, my dad gets up. He's like, "What's going on? We saw a ghost." He's like, "Boo, yeah, get to bed." But yeah, that's what I saw. And over the years, I've went from like skeptic, I've went from full blown atheist to not believing anything. And that's one thing that comes along with being a magician. You learn how easy it is to deceive people, and you learn how people tend to want to believe in extraordinary things and stuff like this. So there was a time to where I had took this experience and buried it so far in the back of my head, okay, and just focused on anything. If it wasn't cut and dry rational, well, it's ghosts aren't real, this. And then one day I had to have a I guess what's called a come to Jesus meeting with things. And I had to ask myself about this, what happened. And I tried everywhere in the world to explain it and to find some type of rational excuse, but I couldn't. And when it comes down to the last thing, I thought, well, I was hallucinating. It was in my head. But you know what? My buddy saw it too. So I saw something, man. I don't know if it was like it was a ghost. It was something. And I don't know if it came from that graveyard around the corner. I don't know if it was some type of soldier because, had like the white V-neck shirt on, his hands up like this, green pants. But I'll never forget, that's exactly what I saw. And that's exactly what happened. And I mean, that was the first real experience, that I could say that, and now I've had some other things. I've had a lot of dumb stuff, dumb, like what the heck's going on? Why did that happen? Kind of stuff. But that was the biggie. Yeah, I've never seen a ghost since then, but that's when I did see one. It's crazy. What about you, man? What's your first paranormal experience?
So my first paranormal experience was actually when I had a brother that wasn't a brother. His name was Chris as well. We always hung out. He was paraplegic. So he like in a wheelchair, right? So we used to hang out. He used to play basketball, wheelchair basketball, stuff like that. I used to watch it all the time. And he ended up in the hospital. I was in school. And I was in math class. I can tell you exactly where I was. I was in a portable. I decided I had to go to the washroom. So went to the washroom, came out of the washroom, and in the foyer of the school, I see his head waving goodbye.
Oh, that's crazy.
My mother came in just after that. I was still standing there kind of dazed. And she came in crying. I said, Chris just died, didn't he? And she goes, yeah. I said, go to the office, sign me out. I'm going to go grab my stuff, and I'll meet you back here. So I went, booked it to the place, to my classroom, and grabbed my stuff. And my teacher didn't want to let me go. And I said, either you're letting me go, or you're suspending me because I am leaving. And he's like, okay, but what happened? And I'm like, my brother just died. And she goes, how'd you know that? You can't know that. I'm like, he waved goodbye to me. I am leaving. So it came over the PA that I had to go to the office. I was leaving. And he was like, okay, bye. Like, he finally realized that I'm not just trying to get out of class. And the next day, he was like, you know, you were telling the truth. I said, yes. I said, I could tell you exactly how he died, what time he died, and yeah, it was.
Do you think that was like do you think you were communicating with him there, or do you think it was like
I think so. I think he was waving goodbye. He had to
I'm a
say
firm believer in that. Yeah, dude,
yeah,
that stuff happens.
yeah. So he was actually went in for a cold, and his esophagus broke.
Oh man, dang. That's
Yeah,
well, being a paraplegic, was he paralyzed from was it the neck down?
just the waist down.
Oh, just the waist down?
Yeah, just the waist down.
Okay.
So like he could talk, he could do anything, he could play basketball. Like he was very athletic. And yeah, it was like we were like friends from when I was like 3. So like I still remember him.
Yeah, that's rough, man.
It's and his mother actually after the fact, I didn't tell her about this, and she made a photo album and ghosted him in every picture of me, and it was like, and then I told her the story, and she goes, "Oh." Because like you can ghost somebody in a picture and it looks like they're floating there.
Oh, so like one of those photos where they put you in it?
Yeah.
You're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So he was actually put into every photo that I had.
Oh, so like they put like his ghost image in your photos.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
So it was just weird. Like it was.
I always thought those are kind of weird, don't you? Though
I do, but it was kind of like ironic because of what happened.
Yeah.
Because she didn't know.
Oh, she did that before?
Yeah. She did that.
Weird.
She gave it to me at the funeral. She goes, I want you to have this. This is from me, but this is pictures of you that I had, and your brother's in it with you. And so I started opening them and I started crying. And she goes, what's going on? And I'm like, so I told her the story of how I knew he died. And she was like floored. She sat down. She was like, right? Because it was like the same thing.
That is weird. That is. Yeah, like I said, man, I'm a believer in it. I'll never forget when my grandmother, went on her deathbed. She was passing away, and we were all in the room. And my grandmother had a little brother who died when he was 6 years old. He was walking home from Sunday school, and a drunk driver hit him and killed him. And his name was Vincent, my Uncle Vincent. And when my grandmother was dying on her deathbed, she looked over in the corner of the room and she was so happy. I mean, she was out not saying a word, like in a coma, and she just woke up and she looked over and she's like, oh, there's Vincent. Vincent's come to get me. Vincent's come. Vincent's here. Vincent. Hey, Vincent. And everybody just looked over there, and like the hairs on the back of her neck stood up. Oh my God. And then she was gone. She was gone shortly after that. So I don't know, man. I mean, there's something. I mean, 100%. There's more to this world than what's going. I don't think that we just live a pointless life and die. I don't. No. I don't think so. I think if that was the case, then there'd be a lot of things that we wouldn't be able to do. Like, I mean. There's a reason why we're able to question our own existence. There's a reason why. Yeah. If there was no reason to question our own existence, then we wouldn't have the ability to do so. We would just be, we are pretty bumbling idiots, but we'd be even more of bumbling idiots in this world. So, and that's just something, most people will, nope, it's over. So when you die, it's lights out, nothing, well, I mean, you say that.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either, man. I've seen proof of that. I've seen proof that no, that's not what happens. I can't tell you exactly what does happen, but that's not it,
No.
So, but yeah, man, I have a lot of weird stuff that happens, and I don't know why, the next pretty creepy thing. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll tell you the other creepy thing after the break. Is what I'll do. I'll save that one for after the break, because that one scared the heck out of me. That was a one, but I have like dumb stuff.
Well, I got dumb stuff too.
It's like, why? What's this? I'll never forget. This was so weird, and this is dumb. This is so dumb. I was home alone. Okay, I came home, and I had tucked my shoes off, and I didn't. Now I'll make a confession. I should have put my shoes up neatly, okay, but I didn't.
No guy ever does.
I didn't. I kicked my shoes off, and one shoe was setting normal, like how a shoe sets, and the other shoe was on its side, completely on its side. Okay, and these were Adidas. These were some Adidas shoes. My Adidas, for people who know about Run DMC. So I had my Adidas on that day. I kicked them off, and one shoe was laying on its side. And I'm sitting there. You don't pay attention to your shoes. And I was just, I was looking at my phone. Quiet time at the house, and I just happened to look over at the floor, and I just happened to look at the perfect time. My shoe, which was laying on its side, all of a sudden goes boop, turns right side up the way it's supposed to. And I was like,
okay,
what the? So, I look down there, I pick my shoe up, I make sure, is there a frog in my shoe? Is there something in my shoe that made that? Nothing at all. Nothing was in my shoe. It just went from its side to boop. It's like somebody was like saying, hey, man, put your shoes up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I thought, what just happened? What did I just see? Why am I going to go tell, like, hey, man, my shoe moved? No one's going to believe that, So and then another dumb thing. I tell you, this was another dumb thing. And this happened not that long ago. This was kind of recent. I was getting in the shower. So use your imagination, kids, if you will. I was leaving the bedroom, and on our bedroom door, we hang our towels, and I had closed. I grabbed my towel. Me and my wife will have our towels, and I grabbed mine, and I shut the bedroom door, and I walked down the hallway. All of a sudden, I heard thud, and I stopped, and I was like, what was that? I was like, oh, I bet that was her towel. It must have just, come off the hook. But I thought it was on there pretty good. But okay, all right, okay, I'll pick it up when I get out of the shower. So I went in the bathroom, and I hang my towel up. I hung it up good. Hung my towel up on the back of the bathroom door. Get in the shower. Start getting in the shower. And all of a sudden I hear, thud. And I was like, I peeped out, and sure enough, there's my towel now tossed in the floor. You sound like someone just tossed it in the floor. And I'm like, and I, just in case some ghost is out there, screwing around, I said, will you cut this out? I screamed it, and I just, any creepy feeling I had was just gone. I was like, okay, now I can, I can wash. But sure enough, I don't know. I mean, was that paranormal? Was it just coincidental that the towel, I don't know. But it just, there was a presence, and I did have a presence and a feeling like something was there with me. And for some reason, I always, I think from seeing the movie Psycho as a child, you know, you get terrified to take a shower home alone. That's when someone wants to kill you, you
Yeah.
know. And if they ever walked in on me in the shower, they would be the ones screaming, not me, you know. So
Yeah.
but creepy. I don't know, man. I have all kinds of weird. There's so many. I've got so many dumb little stories like that, man.
So the weirdness started for me about 2 years ago. I started this job.
Oh, that's when it happens.
That's when it happens. I started this job. Actually, first, my other, the other company. I started with them, and Ryan talked to me about Tessa and stuff like that, and then I started going to the three, uh, three, three sites that we had, and that's when things started happening, and it started happening fast. Like if I wasn't there for 3 or 4 days, I was getting tripped, I was getting pushed, I was getting
Uh,
yelled, I was getting yelled at. It, uh,
Yelled at.
yeah, yelled at. I just had a recent experience. Actually, one of my employees did because we couldn't be in one building for the whole month or for the whole weekend. She went into the building and got pulled back by one of the ghosts.
See, that's the stuff. I can let me see stuff, let me hear stuff, but when stuff starts touching me, and that's what I'm going to talk about after the break.
Yeah,
Is my experience about that, and yeah, that's kind of where I draw the line. When I'm
yeah.
physically getting touched.
I've been touched shoulders. I've had hands over my eyes.
Hands
Just
over your
yeah,
eyes.
yeah. Like surprise, it's me.
Wow.
I've had. Oh yeah, I've had. I've had. You name it. Yeah. They've picked on me pretty good. I will get into that a little bit after the break as well because it was
That is nuts, though.
it's
Well,
it's pretty yeah.
and like I said, I don't know. I know it's real. And just like Ryan tends to think that it's connected, with UFOs, all of it. And I think it's possible it is. Maybe it's some type of interdimension type of thing that's going on, which absolutely, I mean, a lot of scientists will back that there's other dimensions. And I mean, who knows what we're actually experiencing when it does happen. And maybe when we do croak, we leave this dimension and go to another one. You know, I mean, maybe that's how it works. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, in my belief, I'm not saying everybody's, but I believe this is hell. And when we die, everybody goes down.
Good night. I could. That's not a bad. That's not a bad gig. That's not a bad theory because this place is a dumper. I'm not going to lie to you. The I there's a lot of things that would support that claim, Chris.
Yeah.
I tell you what, dude, I see we got Christopher McLean and Lisa is over here in the comments. Guys, we're
Yeah.
going to jump over here to our commercial break. We'll be right back after these messages and let's talk. Give us some questions, man. Talk to us.
Have you ever wondered, or maybe just thought to yourself, if there were others just like you? You know, people with extraordinary abilities, psychogenic advancement, and perhaps unique intuitions. Maybe you just wondered if there were other people who experienced unimaginable, unexplained, or even unusual and paranormal events. Are there people who have more questions, more fears than answers? Well, you're not alone. You've never been alone. We believe you. Sign up for EA today.
It's your business. It's your property. Your assets are worth protecting. Blacklight Investigative and Surveillance Services specializes in patrolling and inspecting residential or commercial property against fire, theft, vandalism, terrorism, and illegal activity. People and buildings are monitored to prevent crime. Keep your property, your people, and your assets safe from threat. Our elite staff are dual licensed private investigators and security guards. Blacklight Investigative and Surveillance Services. Go to blacklightiss.com.
All right, guys, we are back to Beyond the Tinfoil Hat. If you guys are just tuning in, it is me and the tech man himself, Chris Green. We are talking anything. We're talking ghosts. I've been talking about some of my paranormal experiences. We can even talk, yes, David Martin, my man. We could talk about UFOs and Bigfoot. We could talk about all of it. You know what I mean? I see Lisa has already got one right over here. Let's see. What is... Can you pop hers up on the screen?
Yes, I can.
Let's pop it up here. When I started talking about my experiences, I had some very scary experiences with the MIB. When I handed my book over to the publisher, things got worse. You know, I had just today, Lisa, because I remember whenever you were on the show and you were telling about your experiences with the Men in Black, which was absolutely terrifying. Which, in a lot of times, people, you know, just by the stereotypical style of the MIB, you know, we're not talking about Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith. This is not what we're talking about with the MIB. This is some supernatural type beings themselves. And I had just today, I was listening to an interview, and it may have been, I can't remember what podcast it may have been, but it was a particular podcast, and they had brought up the MIB, and it resembled a lot to what Lisa had said on her episode, which was just, like I said, it goes back to these things to where you hear a lot of the same stuff. People telling you, a lot of the same things. So, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, another dimension, another, what's going on, where these things, where are they coming from? Why are they here? Why are we seeing these things? Who knows? Who knows? But what I was going to get into on the second half is on the paranormal, the ghost side, if that's what we want to call it, if that's how we want to chop it up, I guess, is the latest experience that I had was probably around 2018. And I was out for an evening jog, okay, along by a river, and I had finished my jog, and I was kind of on my cool down walk, and I was walking along this trail around the river, and I was minding my own business, had my headphones in. You just kind of in a zone, you're cooling off. It was evening time. It wasn't dark. The sun, hadn't set yet. And out of nowhere, something grabbed me and yanked me off the trail. Okay. Now, my first instinct was, did somebody on a bike run into me? Another jogger run into me? You think, oh no, what just happened? But then I looked around and there wasn't a soul around me. There was no one around me. And something had grabbed me by the waist and yanked me off the trail. And it took a moment for me to kind of like comprehend and put everything together what just happened. Because I was like, whoa, how's that possible? I'm looking around and, I just can't figure it out. So after a minute, I started, it freaked me out. So, I get on the phone and I call my wife and I'm like, come pick me up. No, I'm done. Just come pick me up. Come pick me up right now. I got to get the heck out of here. To this day, I don't know what that was, but I will tell you this, that river area where this river is, a lot of people go there to commit suicide. There's a lot of people that have just drove right into the river, and drowned. There's people, there's some very unfortunate, an unwanted baby one time. Just a lot of stuff has, that's where people have a tendency to gravitate towards water with things sometimes. And, a lot of paranormal activity happens around water too. And I mean, even not just with ghosts, but even like with their UFOs, that there's something about water. And this is something else that people don't really think about when you look at like the other dimension, like when you think of different dimensions, water's kind of like another dimension. You ever thought about that? Well, I mean, when you look at all the creatures that swim through the water, okay?
Yeah.
They don't know anything that's going on up here. That's a whole new world to them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand that.
So it's kind of like a whole new thing. And, and if you were to dip your head, just your face down in that water, to them, they're going to see this circle. They're not going to know what you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, so they're not going to see what you look like, but
exactly. They're not going to, if it was somebody that was able to, if it was a higher intelligent being and that's the only world they ever knew. So it's kind of like, these are kind of some pieces of puzzle that I've kind of tried to put together a little bit. The reason why things may happen around bodies of water, I don't know, because it's kind of, the same thing with us when we look up in the sky and we see the some type of oval shape flying around, zooming around. It may be something completely different, but we just can't comprehend, or we're not able to see it in our dimension the way it really is. So, but yeah, that to me though, I want to say this. I don't know if any of you guys have ever been grabbed. or touched by something like that, it's so much different of an experience because it's so personal. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing if you see something, if you hear something, somebody else could have heard it too, or somebody else could have saw it too. But when you're grabbed, ain't nobody else feeling that. You know.
No, I've been grabbed. I can tell you by who. I know him. It's my grandfather. He actually
After he passed.
After he passed.
Okay, all right.
After he passed, he grabbed my shoulder and whispered in my ear, "I'm proud of you."
Wow, dude. See, you get friendly ghosts.
Yeah, I get. Well, not really. I do get pushed. I do get tripped. I fall like a sack of potatoes. So, but all little people do. But okay. So one day I got pushed. I was doing a tour at one of our sites, and it's an indigenous site. So
Okay.
I'm half and half. So I'm Métis. So I know that spectrum. So I was over there, and I haven't been over there in a while. So they like to pick on me. Going through the longhouse, scanning the tags that we have to scan. They come out and poop, right? They like to bug me. The rabbits like to scare the crap out of me too, but that's all different. The rabbits, they like to scare the crap out of me too. But I had the one. I was finished my tour. I was done. I was just walking. Thank God I was on grass. I was just walking to finish the whole, get in my car, ready to leave. And I get shoved, saying like, you better come back, right? Just picking up. I hit the ground so hard I made an indent.
Dang, man.
I knocked the wind out of me. My nephew was there. He goes, "Dude, did you trip on anything? Like, is there anything there?" And he went, and there was no indents, nothing where my feet were. And he goes, "You got shoved." And I'm like, "Yeah," because I can hear them laughing.
So you hear a lot of the audio.
I hear audio. I hear, oh yeah, like I can tell you. Well, I used to do this to my nephew all the time. He's one site he didn't like. He could call me, and I could tell him exactly where he is on that site. And I'm not even near it. I am 20, 30 minutes away from it. But I could tell him exactly where he is on that site just from the noise out of the phone.
So do you think that your indigenous superpowers or from the gods?
I think so, because the Métis Nation is from Drummond Island, and the first settler from Drummond Island went to the site that we used to manage. So, and I just found that out about a year ago. And so I think it's connected. I want to say it's connected, but I'm not sure.
Well, definitely, very well could be. Very well could be. So when you came in with you, Chris, when you came in, you met Ryan. You were already a believer of the paranormal.
I met Ryan before all this. I actually went to school with Ryan.
Oh, so you've known Ryan for a while.
Yeah.
Ryan hasn't always been a UFO.
Well, I didn't know back then. He could have been.
Gotcha.
But we were just like, I thought he was my high school bully.
Ryan, a high school bully?
Yes. I thought I thought he was my high school bully. I thought anyways. But now talking to him, he was, I guess, not a bully to me, but he was protecting me behind my back.
Okay.
So, yeah. So I found that out when we first started because I finally talked to him. And so, yeah.
Well, it was with him. It was oh, here we go. Lisa's got. Let's put another Lisa question up here. I have been grabbed 3 times. No fun at first, but they put their hands around my throat. Then they tried to push my face down on my sink hard. I used my hands to catch my fall and landed hard scared. Jeez, that's horrible. Dang, Lisa. I don't know how you would. How do you react to something like that? Something trying to choke you and almost like it was trying to drown you. Man, to me, just being grabbed and yanked off the trail is plenty for me. I don't know what I would have done if something would have grabbed me by my neck like that. I think I would have burnt that house down. I'd have been calling every priest I know. I mean, nuns, you name it, pastor, Buddha, anything, man. We got to get this out of my house. It's choking me.
You call the Pope.
Call the police. Hey, man, we got to do something. There's a ghost in here. That's horrible. Lisa, I want you to give me you got any good experiences? Because Lisa, what I'm telling you, man, Lisa's been through some experience. Stuff.
Yes.
Lisa has been through some stuff, man. Jeez. It's, if you get a chance, check out that. If you would like to hear some very just crazy, wild experiences that Lisa's been through, check out the episode where we had Lisa on a few weeks back. Some really deep stuff. Last week's guest, Bigfoot.
That was good.
That was good, man. What did you think about the growling and stuff that he played there?
I wanna say it's real. I
think the problem with Bigfoot and Sasquatch is I do think there's something to it. There's something, but I think it's also the easiest thing to fake. I think it's so easy for a guy to dress up in a monkey suit and hide in the woods that's just one of the easiest things to do. Okay. And, so I think a serious Bigfoot hunter has to go through a lot of garbage to find the good stuff.
Yeah.
And in the UFO, there's a lot of garbage in the UFO stuff. There's a lot of garbage with ghosts too, like a lot of times whenever I see paranormal videos and people got cabinet doors slinging open and I'm like, that's the easiest thing how to duplicate. I can do that right now. I can conveniently set my camera in front of that cabinet and I can cause those cabinets and I can cause stuff to fly off the shelves. I can do all that. That's not impressive to me, but I did bring up in that episode with Bigfoot that the most interesting footage I ever saw was where this person wasn't trying to get a picture of Bigfoot at all, a video of Bigfoot at all. It was, they were filming going down the road on the woods and and then they happened to go back and they would freeze frame it. And then you could actually see a figure that looked like a Bigfoot, a Sasquatch there in the woods. And, like I said, I don't know how much you know about any other type of wildlife, but, deer can be hiding in just tall grass and you'd have no clue they were there, So
I've actually had that.
So, it looked like, that there's something there. There was definitely something there that looked just like a Bigfoot. I don't know what it was, but that was a very interesting bit of evidence to me. What is Lisa? Lisa, yeah. And here, we're going to give Lisa another plug here. Lisa, she's talking about experiences she had after her book came out. So if you guys get a chance to check out Lisa's book, be sure to do so. Lisa, if you can real quick, toss the name of your book on here and we'll give it a quick shout out. Because I mean, a lot of interesting stuff in her book, but this is something that happened after the book come out. So I don't know, maybe you need to write another book, get some more, because like I said, from where I've got shoes flipping over and towels, dropping. I mean, that's not an interesting book. That's stupid. I don't have any, but I do have a lot of experiences, but nothing as violent as stuff that Lisa unfortunately has had to deal with.
So Lisa's episode was season 6, episode 23.
Episode 23. So I encourage you guys to go back. If you haven't watched that episode, go back and watch episode 23. Lisa, it gets deep. I'm not going to lie. It really does. Lisa gets deep and it's dark. There's some dark stuff that Lisa has experienced and went through. And we talk, UFOs and entities and I mean, whatever we want to call them, whatever it is. But Lisa has experienced a lot. Really, she has. But let's see here. I'll tell you what, Chris, I've been blabbing the whole time, bud.
That's fine.
I've been blabbing. That's good. He talks. He never shuts up.
You're allowed to do that. I was there when my grandma died, and I saw her rise up and wave goodbye to me, to everyone actually that was there. But
so you see dead people. You're like, what's his name from Sixth Sense? What is his name?
I have no idea.
Yes,
I do. I can go to a place. Title of her book is.
The title of her book is Living in Two Worlds, A True Account of Alien Encounters. And I'm telling you guys, definitely, if you want to hear some very interesting stories, interesting.
I want to try to find that book.
And I'm sure we can find it on Amazon. There's this thing called Google.
That is something that I want to read.
Yeah. So there's this thing called Google, and I'm sure if you Google Two Worlds, A True Account of Alien Encounters, Living in Two Worlds, it will pop up and it'll show us where we can purchase this book. Show Lisa some love. So buy the book. And, I think you won't be disappointed, especially if this is something that you're interested in. Hey, and also, where has Liv been? Where's Liv Light been?
I have no idea. I haven't seen her in 2 or 3 episodes now.
Liv, if you watch this episode, where you at? Come on. Come on, Liv, where you at? We miss your questions. And I promise I'll get better at reading them. So
I'll get better at putting them up.
And definitely whoever, share the podcast, tell people, bring them the questions. We have guests. And like I said, this week just happened to be, we had somebody cancel out on us on the last minute, which happens. Lisa says the book is on Amazon. So go to Amazon and get that book. Read it.
I'm doing that right now.
Very affordable too. All right, man. Big plans this week?
Well, girlfriend's over right now.
Is that who I see in the background?
Yes, that is Christy Ann Houghton.
Christy Ann Houghton. Sorry for messing up your name. Last time I ever said it. Nice to meet you. It's Christy Ann Houghton.
Houghton, yes.
All right. Well, nice to meet you.
Yeah, not who.
Yes, Lisa, Liv does have great questions, and I miss her great questions. I don't know where she's been, but if Liv watches this episode, Liv, you got to come back, bring some of them great questions. Let's see. Anything I need to give a quick? No, man, I'm just I'm going to be in Florida here in a few days, and no, not Florida. I'm going to be in actually the Gulf, kind of Florida, the Gulf Coast. So looking forward to that. Going to be down there. And I don't know if we've got any viewers in the South Carolina area, but I'm going to be in Anderson, South Carolina, August 3rd, doing a fantastic show at the 123 Club. So definitely could come out and catch some comedy and magic. If there's any people in the South Carolina area listening,
you should do some comedy and magic with Brad Williams. That would be hilarious.
Maybe
that would be hilarious.
Well, like I said, I think Brad is a fantastic comic, and that's definitely a show that you got to get out and catch too. You know,
he has to come to Canada.
He needs to come to Canada. He does, but he and I'm sure he'll get up there. I'm sure he will.
If he does, I am going. I don't care. Ryan can find a new EA, executive assistant for that day, because I will not be here.
All right. Well, I like the way Chris made this about Brad whenever I'm trying to talk about my shows. So what we'll do is I'm coming to Canada. I'm going to surprise you and come to Canada.
Yes, there you go. You got it.
So I'm going to surprise you and come to Canada. And then I'd like to see my tinfoil hat folks come out and see the show. I think that would be super dope.
Hey, you do that. You come to Canada, I will be there.
All right, dude. All right.
I will be there front row.
I will come to Canada. I will. Don't tempt me. It'll get down. All right, dude. Well, we are getting close on time. So who do we got next week?
We have, because I was actually just looking at that, Christy Adams.
Christy Adams.
Yeah.
All right.
She's into horror.
Yes. Oh, yes. Okay. That's going to be a fun episode. You do not want to miss that episode with Nightmare Christy Adams.
Yes.
Here's the cool thing. I'll tell you real quick before we hop off of here. Christy Adams, she owns Nightmare Toys, and it is a very cool horror prop store. She's got some paranormal stories. It's going to be a great episode. You don't want to miss that one. But I'll tell you what, let's see. I guess we could go ahead and I could take us out of here.
Yep.
All right. Are you hanging around? How are we doing this? All right. Well, here we go. I'll tell you what, guys. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Beyond the Tinfoil Hat. It was me, the tech man, Chris Green. We got down. We talked about ghosts. We talked about UFOs, a little bit of Bigfoot. But you definitely want to tune in next week, okay? Because we do have Nightmare Christy Adams. You don't want to miss that. And if you guys have not done so, be sure to like, share the podcast with all your friends, like, subscribe, and give me some love at Super Magic Boy on Instagram and Danny Whitson Magic and Comedy on Facebook. I would love to hear from you guys. And I will see you guys next week. And like always, we are broadcasting live from the E-United Public Radio Network, the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, on 105.3 FM on the Gulf Coast and 107.7 in New Orleans. I will see you guys next week. All right, that does it for this episode of Beyond the Tinfoil Hat. A big shout out for tonight's awesome guest, and a bigger shout out for everyone who tuned in. And if you haven't done so yet, be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube or wherever it is you listen to your podcasts. And like always, be sure to stay curious, heed the world, and keep the paranormal normal. I'm your host, Danny Whitson, and this has been Beyond the Tinfoil Hat.